Hey guys, Tom Sicily Jr. here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review Exit 14, a rather cliched horror film that pretty much follows a cliche bingo board of horror that you could come to expect in horror movies. You have the four dumb teenagers going out and wanting to go to this resort, and along the way, they get lost and have to take another exit from which they were on, and thus are then stopped by the car not working anymore, and they are helped out by this individual who seems a bit creepy and has nothing to hide, and of course, we end up finding out that he's the one responsible for stuff happening, or at least he knows what's going on. So he allows them to get to his house, where even further teenage hijinks ensues, where they play this game of drinking, and the guy who set up the challenge is the one to give up first, and they do all this weird sacrificing stuff because they learned about the story from the guy who told them about this thing that happened a long time ago, and the movie heavily relies on this uh, what seems like a very stock footage or stock sound of, oh, something's behind you and it's another person. The movie heavily relies on that for like most of the movie, uh, and then the first drunk guy gets like sick or something, and the sort of main blonde girl, I guess, ends up wearing this pendant, and it's supposed to be reminiscent of uh, this man's, the one that they're inviting's mother, and I guess he was trying to get her back, and the brunette and the other guy, he was trying to hook up with her, and he kind of did, but there was this whole relationship issue sort of thrown in there as well. And of course, we have the split up of the groups. The guy got sort of sick, and now he's sort of like incapable of moving. The girl who's just sort of laying around the house, and then the blonde and the other guy sort of go out to try to get help. Uh, they go out and they didn't really get too far, and they do come across this guy's workshop, and they see that all the stuff that they had on them has been sort of taken away, and at this point the blonde girl's like, I guess, semi-possessed. Don't really know how the rules work. It's not really ever made any clear. Like when she wears the pendant, she sometimes, like closer to the end of the movie, sort of acts or behaves in a way that's suspicious, or you can sort of just see the expression on her face. So at least she tries to pull that off a little bit. So there is that. Um, the guy who is drunk ends up getting possessed as well, I think. And he ends up like stabbing the other girl who's left at the house. She was like sort of outside looking for a phone or something. So she's dead. The blonde guy sort of has to work his way back to the house with the girl after they finally get the car working, or because they believe they have to get back to the other two, of course. So they go back, and something isn't right. No one's there. The guy's just, he just sort of fades out of the existence of the movie from that point on. I think it showed like a quick glimpse on him in the mirror or something. I don't know. There's some supernatural element to this. Uh, and I guess that includes snatching people up into the mirror or something. But anyways, the blonde guy had held up a gun to the guy and he shot him, but he somehow survives the shot. I don't know, but the girl also gets shot by this sort of uh, indication between the two, and she just sort of ends up dying, which is dumb. But they go back to the house to do the possession, or he tries to, and he sort of wakes the mom up, and he kind of has to run away. He ends up running in a big circle like an idiot, ending up back in the same spot. So she puts on an act as if she's normal, but then she kills him, and thus she returns home to the guy who called them all up in the first place. And then we get a quick glimpse of the end where the main blonde guy's father had called them earlier, or called him earlier, and thus proceeds to go there suspicious of what's going on. He goes in the store that this guy was in, asks where this guy, his son, is. He says he has no clue, and then he sees he has a gun, and he could have just pulled it out and shot this guy if he wanted to. I mean, that was his intention because he ends up like almost leaving and then turning around and pointing the gun, and then the guy's gone, and then he's somehow behind him. So he could have just shot him, but no, he wanted to do the dramatics and whatever. So this movie was pretty boring throughout. The ending was okay, I guess, but it still doesn't hold up much water at the end. The characters are just too boring, and the story just seems a bit not even fleshed out all the way. I don't really understand who this mother character is all too much, and it doesn't really seem to fit the story that the guy tells. It seems like there's three different stories going on. It shows like a time frame where how long ago it was, and I think it said like a certain amount of years, and it just seemed like too long. And he's talking about this murder that took place, but I don't know if that was correlated to the mother. I don't know. Like, it's just too confusing. Um, the girl getting possessed, I guess that's okay. And then the other guy who got possessed, I still don't fully understand what happened to him, but maybe he got the same treatment or something rather. Anyways, I'm gonna give this movie a 2 out of 10. It's not particularly anything interesting. There might have been like one or two good elements here, but it's so far and few between. So just enjoying this movie was a real pain, more so than enjoyable. And with that being said, I'm Thomas the Jr., aka Mustache Time, and I'll see you guys next time.